I'm with a real queen, everybody, and I couldn't be more excited about that fact. Like a real queen. This is amazing. So my first question, and this is something that I've noticed with you specifically, is you live with a certain amount of freedom, and that it's really hard to find people who are able to live in that space. How do you live in that space, and if you haven't always been there, how did you get there?
Well, first of all, I don't keep any secrets because we're as sick as our secrets. A lot of people will hold on because they've been touched. If somebody touch you, you tell somebody. And if they don't listen like my mother didn't, you tell somebody else. And if they don't listen, tell somebody else. So that freedom of not keeping secrets, boy, I can just skip around because I don't care what people think about me. And the other piece is taking responsibility for your choices. We're human beings. We get to choose. There are two emotions. One feels good and one feels bad. We get to choose. You may think there's a gray area, but you know if you feel good or feel bad about the choice you're making in that moment. Don't get it twisted. There's nowhere to run. You cannot run from the pain of your childhood. You cannot run from all of that abuse that so many of us got. So don't run. You got to go down to the root of that pain and pull it out. You snatch it out and ignore it and hide it, it's going to grow right back. It doesn't go anywhere. It doesn't matter. You got to do the work. You got to write in your journals. If you need help, go get help. If you need medication, then get medication. I don't push medication. Took my shrink 5 years to get me on it because I thought I was going to lose my edge. But, you know, Robin Williams stopped taking his meds. You can't stop taking them. Now take care of yourself. I took 3 pills this morning. Now here I am, having a good time. I'm not manic. I'm not depressed. I'm like this. Doesn't make life perfect. It doesn't. Don't think you're going to be fixed overnight. You got to be patient for your level of cocktail of the medication. I had side effects. I had dry mouth, and I was like, oh my God, I didn't know what it was when I started taking medication. And I ran to the dentist. He said, did you just start a new medication? I was like, yeah, I did. He said, well, it's dry mouth. And then my sexual desire went away. Well, you knew I wasn't having that. Okay? So we had to lower that milligram.
Right.
But yeah, life is wonderful. That's why I'm free.
Yeah.
Free to be me. I don't even pause at these signings anymore. Whatever questions they have, I'm going to answer to the best of my ability. I'm going to tell them this is not the truth. My truth. Yeah. My story, my song. You take what you will, because the only thing you can really do for anybody else in this world is live your best life. Other people's happiness ain't none of your business. We think we can make somebody happy. No, you can't. It's got to come from within. Everything. The journey within is the most. Somebody said that to me. She said, the woman who suggested I get into therapy, you've read the book. She said, Jenny, there is no greater journey than the journey within. I've never heard anything like that. I was like, there's a journey within? That shit sounded exciting. I said, well, let's take that journey. I didn't know what I was getting myself into. It is a very painful journey.
When did you start that journey?
Wow, that's a question. I knew something was wrong in New York in the 80s. That was the sex addiction. I knew something was wrong. I was crying every night. I was manic, but I didn't know what it was. We didn't have the words for that back then. I was just running amok in New York. It wasn't until the AIDS epidemic where I lost so many friends. Well, we're going to wait. I'm going to finish this question.
Perfect. Thank
I
you.
leave no man behind, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes.
Nothing is that important. Okay, but thank you for the warning.
Got you.
What was your question?
When did that journey start? You said in
That
the
journey,
80s?
yes, when the AIDS epidemic was at its height, I had a list of people I knew, 200 people. They dropped like flies. And the government, Reagan, they weren't doing anything because it was a gay disease. And all my friends were dying, so I had a nervous breakdown. Didn't know what to do with myself. I was all over the place. And she looked at me, she said, Jenny, you gotta go get help. And I did.
It's been
So
a
that
long
was,
journey.
oh, it's been a long journey. That was, I think like 1989 when she told me that. But then, you don't want to go get help. You don't want to change your habits. You fight to go but you got to go. And I went. My therapist called it soldiers that I had. Because I'm an alpha. And I'm a leader. And when you lead, you got to take responsibility. The day I touched bliss, and this is the last thing I'll say. The day I touched bliss, who uses that word? It was the day I took responsibility for every choice I had made, was gonna make, and the one at that second. I live in the moment, my friend.
Mhm.
That's a freedom also.
That's
Leave
jazz.
that past shit behind. Leave it back there and go forward into the future. I feel like I'm on a glory train right now on this book tour, making stops in D.C., Wilmington, New York City, the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Choo-choo, baby.
You're the
Locomotive, and leading with love. Don't come over here. Don't roll up unless you took 10 breaths. You'll blow a fuse. Thank you, young man.
Thank
Let's
you.
go.